Hey guys, Victor here, looking at a variation suggested by Gilliam. So this is the opening we're looking at, and Valgar's idea was to move here to defend the queen and open this up to threaten checkmate after blue takes here if red moves queen out on the first move, with the supposition that yellow can check and then the blue queen can be won. However, the checkmate threat, where the blue queen is here, rather the blue queen is here and the green queen is there, forces red to take green's queen, thus disallowing red from moving the knight up in response to the check on blue to threaten blue's queen. And on top of that, blue's queen is able to then take the bishop and put a check on red, giving blue and green a huge advantage. So in this position, it's suggested to consider moving the pawn up here to block the diagonal for blue, right? So that way the red queen can move out safely because checkmate threat is no longer available by green. That is, yellow can take, and then if the checkmate threat does come up, red's queen can go over and attack blue's queen if it did happen to take the pawn that came up. So, following, we're looking at, instead of Valgar's idea of moving the knight up here to defend the queen, another idea was to move the pawn up here. This does two things, opens up this play by green. On top of that, it also blocks yellow's diagonal. That way, if it comes up here, you can't take checkmate. So anyway, this was the idea. And third thing is that if red fianchettos, this opens the green bishop to attack red's rook, because green goes before red. Okay, fair enough. So I think in this position, as red, you still want to move the pawn up, and here's why. This move right here, there is still a really big difference between that and the knight move, because the knight move, it does two things. First, it defends the queen, but it also defends this diagonal. So taking advantage of these diagonals, if the yellow queen moves up here, there's a checkmate threat on green. On top of that, the yellow queen can follow up with the second checkmate threat on green, moving the queen out over here. Taking this into account, I think red can still move here. So, play follows, defending the check threat, and as stated, checkmate threat on green. So green has to respond to this. I think the best move is to move the pawn up here. And the reason I say that is the only other blocking is blocking that there. Maybe moving the knight up here. Right? Like theoretically you could move the knight up there. But then still have a follow-up checkmate threat. It still is a checkmate threat on green. So either way, we could look at either variation. This also opens up the queen. It's really hard to say which one would be better. This one, you're also able to eye up red's piece, but then again, red does have counterplay here. I think that it doesn't really matter which one you use in this circumstance. So let's say green moves the knight up here. Then I think play continues with red queen right here. This would also be true if green's pawn moved up here for a couple of reasons. The reason why is up here, first of all, you defend blue's queen from coming up here by direct attack. And that's a really good spot for blue's queen. Second of all, this also defends against the green bishop coming in to take if blue's queen was able to somehow support that capture. Third of all, when the red queen is right here, most commonly blue's queen moves up here. So knowing that yellow's queen wants to move out, blue can insert a check on yellow to move in right there. And this directly defends that move as well. Which is why I think that after the green knight moves out, red's queen wants to move right there. So, play continues. Let's say blue moves there. So, in this circumstance, I think this move might be a mistake because there's something else that red is doing here. Right? Now let's say that you wanted to move the pawn up here, keeping in mind that you could come out with some kind of check threat. I don't think it really matters at this stage because you no longer have the checkmate threat. Blue's queen is not fast enough. I'm just looking at both these variations because I don't really see a big difference in either one of them. Let's say, same move, you can imagine the knight's up here instead of the pawn. Just wanted to move that up just to show why I think both of these would allow for the next sequence, which I think is still very powerful. What I see, key move the queen up here. And this might be another benefit of having the green pawn up here. So then you can push to block this diagonal much more easily. Checkmate threat. Right? I think what you're looking at is after this, in preparation for this move here, by the way, the reason why I do this move is not only you force green to defend against mate, you're also threatening checkmate on blue. Now this could also be accomplished moving the red piece here, but then there you're not threatening checkmate on green, allowing green an extra move which you do not want in four-player chess. Because tempo is everything in four-player chess. So no matter what green does, I really don't know what the best move is here. Maybe this to defend, to attack. This alone could even switch things up. Maybe at this point, red wants to attack green's queen, and then yellow's queen wants to move over here, threaten checkmate on green. That I think might be the best option if green wants to do that to try to get active. Theoretically, you could also move up here, try to get the queen active. This, I'm not 100% sure how to continue, but one option, of course, is to follow through with the plan. And then blue's queen is forced all the way back here to defend against checkmate, making blue's queen all of a sudden inactive again, taking back a move. So at this stage, although green's queen can get active, yellow's queen can just move in. And we're looking at 2 active queens versus 2 passive queens, not to mention checkmate threats by red and yellow right around the corner. So, in short, although I think this opening is kind of novel and kind of interesting, I don't really think it holds the same power as the original opening we were looking at, which was Valger's knight up here. Because not only does this allow a recapture and gives a lot of support to counterplay, it also prevents this key diagonal, which gives green an extra move. And in the opening, as you know, positions open up quickly, tactics are very fast, and tempo is everything in four-player chess. So in short, Gilliam, I think this is an interesting idea to move the pawn up here, but as shown in this video, I think it gives green and blue, I don't think it gives them the same advantage. And I think it gives red and yellow a lot of opportunity to take advantage of these light square diagonals on green, to create a lot of counterplay. So that's my video. Feel free to let me know if you think you caught any mistakes or see something I didn't. And I'll see you next time. Peace.